Okay, I see we have a question from the audience. Yes.
Hey, Dad. Did Brock use symbolism?
Boy, did he ever. And I'm going to get into it now. Much of the symbolism that I'm going to talk about now starts here with this drawer pull that happens to look like a crazed eye. One eye, and I think that's important. Also, there's this juxtaposition here with the knife above the eye. I suspect that Brock, the table, appears a little bit animated. And I think that Brock may have introduced this idea here. Like, for example, do we see wood grain in the table, or is it fur? No, there's a suggestion that there's a beast here. And I think that Brock may have kind of combined a few stories from Greek mythology. There's the story of the hero from Athens that tracked down the Minotaur in his lair, and he stabbed him with a knife. Ah, and there's a knife here. Also, there's this open drawer. Is this an open drawer, or do we see a wound that's been inflicted by the knife? I think the greater share of the story probably is pulled from the Odyssey and the confrontation of Odysseus with Polyphemus, the Cyclops. Ah yes, Cyclops, the one eye. Look here at this detail, like we pick up a detail in the wainscoting behind the still life setting. It appears as though there may be tears streaming down from the eye of the Cyclops. And then there's that crazed look in the Cyclops' eye. Polyphemus he had kind of a reputation. He was something of a bully. And he meets Odysseus and the tables are turned. He's the one who's feeling the hurt now. So maybe a lot of his rage and his pain went beyond the fact that he got stabbed in the eye, but he might be upset and furious because someone's making him the victim. There's something else too about the knife. There's no shadow cast by the knife onto the table. We assume that it's resting on a table, but hey, it's possible that we're looking at the knife suspended in midair, as though a freeze-frame photography. So who knows, maybe that knife is being thrown toward the bullseye. And what I said about the shadow isn't quite right, because you'll notice that there's black above the knife. Well, what does that suggest? Well, in the paintings by Edgar Degas, who showed a lot of ballet scenes, for example, you see footlights, where the lighting comes up from below. And there's not really much in the way of diversion during Degas' time. You couldn't go to a movie theater. Of course, there wasn't TV. If you want to have some kind of diversion, you had to go to a live performance. And you would see footlighting where the subjects were, the actors on stage, for example, were illuminated from below. And that kind of sent the message of, this is not your ordinary everyday world. Here you are taken out of your everyday dreariness, and you can enjoy something different and something special. I think it must have taken quite a misogynist to come up with the idea of throwing knives at women, but that's the sort of performance you might have been able to see. So there's this possibility that there's a reference to a knife being thrown toward the bullseye. And in the story of the Odyssey, well, we don't know exactly what happened when Odysseus took his spear and stabbed Cyclops, but maybe he picked up his javelin and he threw it and bullseye!
Don't you mean Cyclops' eye?